10 months moto. Let's go have some fun. Then we do it again. So here we are, finally, part 3 of Charles City Dirt Riders, trails, hair scramble, tight single track, whatever you want to call it. I couldn't be more excited and thrilled to be inside of these trails to check them out and see what they're all about. Starting out, I was a little skeptical about the trails because so many people in the reviews for Charles City Dirt Riders were more focused on the motocross and the training sessions that you can be involved in, and how these guys actually work on your bikes for you. And I mean, they do all kinds of awesome stuff. But I've been able to find many reviews on their single track trails. So once again, I was a little skeptical, but I was far off. This place is awesome. The trails are great, well groomed, very tight single track. That's what I love. Sometimes reality has to step in and tell you you're not as good as you think you are. Decided to hit the pedal, not thinking about any kind of roots right next to this tree, unfortunately. It was at an angle, my wheel went one way, I went the other, and you saw the rest. The only thing that's an important thing to learn is what you need to look out for, what line you need to take. Instead of trying to jump through a puddle, you might want to think, okay, there's a tree there, there's probably going to be a root in that puddle. It's hard to tell which way it's going to go. You're going to end up on your side like I did here. Lesson learned, let's move on with life. I've said this before, but the racing that I do with the VCHSS, a majority of the time, you don't have time to practice. They will not allow you to practice, so you don't know what you're up against. And that's what I really like about this stuff. So when you get into a bind, or you lay your bike over, or you wreck, or something along those lines, you end up kind of getting the jitters out of the way. And to me, there's no better feeling. It's over, it's done with. Let's move on with the race and see what place we can finish in. And in this case, I've already figured out, okay, there's some spots that I'm gonna have to watch a little more closely at. We got the wreck out of the way, let's move on. To me personally, I'm more relaxed after I get the initial wreck or the initial scared sense out of the way, and I'm ready, I'm focused, I'm ready to go. So I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this is part 3 of Charles City Dirt Riders. I did part 1 and part 2, which is the motocross was part 1, flat track or grass track was part 2, the hair scramble course or their single track trails is part 3. And it's impressive to me because it's so close to where I live, which is in the middle of nowhere. And it's awesome because they're only about 30 minutes away, and there's such a variety of riding to do, and a lot of stuff I can learn on, a lot of stuff that anybody can learn on if you're close by. A couple of the guys I rode with out here are a couple hours away, and they were still able to come out, have a good time. We rode for 4 or 5 hours and learned all kinds of stuff, between sharing different stories on how you corner and how you turn, how you handle different situations while you're in different riding styles like the motocross or the single track. And one of the guys that was on a 450 tried following me through the woods, and he couldn't do it. Now, he was on a 450, which is understandable. It's definitely not made for the woods. I've made that mistake before. And it was interesting because he said he tried keeping up with me, but the way I was just kind of weaving in and out of the trails, it looked like it was natural, which made me feel extremely good because I'm a C-class rider, and knowing that some people are looking at me in that sense is a very good feeling. It only means I'm going to get better. But that's another aspect that I wanted to talk about when it came to Charles City Dirt Riders, is because there's a variety of different styles of riding out here, which means there's a variety of riders. So you learn a lot about a lot of different riding. You learn a lot about a lot of different styles. It's really awesome to talk to the guys that are mainly motocross or mainly grass track, which I don't know a whole lot of. But the motocross guys, and comparing stories and trying to keep up with them on the motocross track, and them trying to keep up with me here in this wood section, it's impressive on the different things that you can actually learn from different people that come from different backgrounds of riding. And that's extremely important to me, is trying to mix it up and trying to learn basically everything you can, so we can all become a well-rounded rider. Now, something that was kind of weird was as soon as I ended this trail, it spit me out right at the motocross track. I popped out of the woods and was just kind of looking around like, huh, I guess we're going to go hit some jumps now. This was the section before in the previous video. I was looking for a way into the trails. There's a couple really steep hill climbs here. I was lucky enough to find a few different ways into the trail. I tried a couple of them. Let's see how I made out. Spot right here is literally straight down, and I had to do it again. It's so much fun. It's awesome. If you guys ever get out here, make sure you find this spot. You go down this thing a couple hundred times. It's awesome. Even if you're intimidated by it, which you're going to be, unless you're a AA rider, which I'm far from. It's a whole lot of fun. I did it probably 20 more times this day. It's just a lot of fun. So let's take another look at these trails and see what they're all about. trails, from what I found, were split up between different sections of their property, in between like the motocross and their grass track and their training areas and their building where they work on everything, their garage or whatever you want to call it. So every time you would come out of a trail, it spit you out either in the motocross section, and you'd go in at a different area and then spit you out somewhere else. I found 3 different sections coming through, which is pretty cool because it's split up throughout the whole area. This one's right next to the river. If you make a mistake, you're going in the water. It was awesome. I absolutely love this trail. It seemed a little short, pretty quick. There's some rocks, there's a couple logs. One of the logs actually had to move. That's coming up soon. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of complicated stuff you really have to pay attention to, mainly because if you do something wrong, you can end up in the water. That's what I'm talking about. If you hit this thing wrong, or you don't hit it head on, the front wheel is going to go down towards that water. So I decided I'd just pick it up and move it, and we can move on with life. Maybe save somebody some time, some effort, some frustration to pulling their bike out of that water. So this trail will actually put you out right near the main building where you sign up when you come in, where a majority of people park, from my understanding. Now, I was told that there is another spot on the opposite side where you enter the actual property. There's another trail back there. So I had this guy run me down there, show me where the trail entrance was. So I wanted to check it out and see what it was all about. Little easy ride down this gravel road. The scenery out here is awesome. There's horses. It's just a really well kept place to come out and ride, and I'm definitely going back as soon as I can. Here's the start of the trail. One of the better things to me that I noticed out here, a lot of people that came here on this day were really involved in the motocross and going into the training session and that grass track. So I didn't meet a whole lot of competition or a lot of traffic basically on these trails, which was great. So I could go at my own pace. I could try them different ways. I could stop and re-loop and see if I could hit that trail a little different, or what would be the better line to take. There's just a lot of options, not a whole lot of traffic, and that's always a good thing. Coming through this area, I got a little confused. The markers were not as clear. I saw what seemed to be another part of the trail, decided to go down it. It got pretty tight, a little sketchy for me. I wasn't sure whether I was going the right way or not until I came up behind the house and decided maybe I should turn around because the markers were gone. Didn't see any other indication of a trail. So made my way back out and found the rest of the actual marked trail. We circled around, found our way back to the main building. Let me know what you think about the video. There's going to be plenty more to come from Charles City Dirt Riders. Appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you thought about the music, by the way. I decided to do something different. If you like, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Leave me a comment. I'll get back to you. Once again, if you can make it out here to Charles City Dirt Riders, you will not be disappointed. 4th of July video coming out next week. Once again, thanks for watching. I'm Ten West Moto, and I'll see you on the starting line.